It's Tuesday, November 27th, Wednesday, November 28th, if you're on the East Coast or across the pond. And this, my friends, is Spaced Out Radio. Hope you had a great day at night. I am your host, Dave Scott, broadcasting to you live from the Great White North on top of the mountains of central British Columbia, right here at SOR headquarters. We welcome you lightly on the SOR Radio Network and Deep Talk Radio. If you want to take a listen to our archives, we have them free for you at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Just do old baby the favor. Hit that subscribe button. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to some Bumblefoot. Soon, shop at our brand new Spaced Out Radio store, read up on Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire, and so much more. Tonight's show is brought to you by the YouTube channel Ensuho. Sebastian Martin brings high-quality messages to the masses. Go to spacedoutradio.com, click on the Ensuho banner, and subscribe today. You know, we always like to bring in new, informative voices to this show, so that is what we are doing tonight. Kerri Ann Sanders is someone who came into her own spiritual tug-of-war after her mother passed away a few years ago. Since then, she's found herself opening up to mysteries and intuition that never really resonated with her before. You could say that her happily boring spiritual life came to a quick end. It's been an enlightening reality on the path that she follows as Kerri has come to her own, and her website, quirkycosmo.com. quirkycosmo.com. Make sure you check on that website. Then, at the bottom of hour number 3, the man, the myth, and the paranormal legend, Olaf Phillips from Paranoia Magazine will join us for another edition of the SOR Newswire. Kerri Ann Sanders, thank you so much for keeping the toothpicks in your eyes way on the East Coast. About as far away from me as you possibly can get down in southern Florida, where the sun never stops shining. And in the meantime, I have about 17 coats on in order to stay warm. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you for having me. My spirit is just like enthralled to be on this show right now and feeling your energy. You're an amazing host, and I really do appreciate you reaching out to me all the way out down here in the bottom end of the Florida coast. It is pretty windy today, to be honest. It has been the coldest I've felt it ever, but I think that's because I started channeling your energy all the way up there in the north.
Well, if you're channeling my energy, you can definitely channel Bigfoot energy, alien energy, ghost energy. I have it all around me up here. And you know what's really cool is a couple nights ago, I have this side project going on that nobody really knows about. But I have a side project going on that I'm trying to build right now. And I was standing on this porch overlooking the mountains with a friend of mine. And all of a sudden, the tree line in front of us, it's about, 8 o'clock at night, and it's dark here now. And all of a sudden, the trees, where there is no traffic, there is no human contact behind where I was. And all of a sudden, the trees started flickering in little bright white and blue and yellow lights. Every now and again, the fairies were out. I was pretty excited about that.
That's what I was going to say. It sounds like you have some devas and some fae energy around you out there. Obviously, you do have the Bigfoot out there. There's multiple dimensions, and that is a consciousness. And whenever your consciousness expands, you're able to see beyond the 3D, time-space linear perception that most of humanity does see. That is pretty much what everybody on the planet is going through with this awakening, quickening, or ascension process. So I've no doubt that you're speaking with all of these open-minded individuals that have, carrying these higher frequencies and energies, that they have from their starseed lineage or their spiritual family. So you're connecting with these people. Therefore, your consciousness is expanding, and you're able to see beyond, and that is beautiful in itself. It is what we all strive for. There's multiple dimensions in our mind that we create or that we have ability to access, and they help guide us And whenever you get to a level when you can experience them in a physical form, and whether it be, sensing them, knowing, or seeing, more of a five senses touch way, but not really touching, or you can touch. If you've had contact with them, you've been so lucky to been abducted, which I personally have. Not really abducted. They've just taken,
Oh, who hasn't been abducted these days? Who hasn't been abducted? Come on.
This is true, right? This is true. I had my experience that I recalled was whenever I was in Abu Dhabi. It's not really that I recalled it. It was just that I didn't recall. And the whole night for about 5 or 6 hours of the night. And then I had a bunch of dreams that, struck it back up. And I was like, wow, that's what, I had actually been taken up to the starship Athena, and they implanted a 12-pointed star into my chakra, my heart chakra. And that was to keep me protected because of, being in the military. I served in the United States Navy. I was surrounded by a bunch of, yes, you're welcome. Anybody that listens, it's America that's, out there served, thank you for your service as well. But, I had an implant in me so that I was able to continue. I'd gone through a lot of trauma in my life. And at that point, it was a very make or break. So they decided to make me instead of breaking me. And I had a wonderful experience with that in my dreams, in my dream state, and through past life regressions, or what you'd like to call time traveling. People call it time traveling or past life regressions. I was able to go into a deep state of meditation with, guided, steps. I use YouTube a lot. I use my own voice for this. Almost everything that I've done when it comes to my awakening process has been on my own or with self-help videos or books, which I'm not much of a reader. I'll buy them and I'll get 5-10 pages into it and I'll start falling asleep. So I'm very much an audio, I got to listen or hands-on kind of person. But yeah, that experience was beautiful.
Yeah. Marine Megan in the chat room says, hi, U.S. Navy. Or
hi, girl.
U.S. Navy. Yes. Yes. Megan
those Marine girls, those are they're strong women. They are. That's a branch to be in. Oh my goodness.
Well, I got to meet Megan earlier this year and her awesome husband Dan down at the Forest Moon Paracon that I was speaking at this past September in Washington State. Awesome people. Awesome people. Absolutely love them. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. I love being able to meet our listeners. That's for sure. That is for sure.
Yeah.
Let's learn a little bit about you, though. All right. Let's focus on you. It's not about me. It's about you. Were you always? What's that?
I said, well, dearest, you're a reflection of me.
Yes. As I stare at some cupcakes on my windowsill right now, thinking about, how can I get her talking so I can go eat one of these cupcakes? But nonetheless, I will honestly say this. Were you always into the spiritual and Zen, or did this kind of come out of nowhere and hit you like a bag of books that you just all of a sudden had to investigate it, learn about it, and start living and preaching it?
Yes, the second choice on that one. As a child, I remember a lot of things that happened when I was a child and the things that I saw. I had a lot of spiritual experiences when I was young, but I suppressed them. I started speaking light language, which is, a lot of people have heard of it as speaking in tongues. I spoke light language when I was younger, and I suppressed that. By the age of 9, everything was suppressed. But no, I after that, no, I didn't. During my teens, my adult life, no, I lived a pretty normal, quote unquote, normal American life. I grew up in a very small desert community out in Southern California on the Colorado River. It's a town called Blythe, and it is a beautiful sea level Lemurian hot zone. So if you don't know much about Lemuria, it was a civilization that extended from where Hawaii is to the rim of California, the Pacific coast. And anyway, so Blythe was on the ocean bed, and it is below sea level. There are quite a few old souls that have incarnated through the ley lines there. The magnetic ley lines is how we, as starseeds, come in. We come in through vortexes or portals, if you'd like to call them that. And we have to have certain energies align and to come through these portals and where the ley lines cross over. It really helps us get in and tap directly into specific DNA lines so that we can heal them and also line up with every other past incarnation that we've had so we could build to where we're at right now. But anyway, so Blythe, back to Blythe and being from there, a very small town. My mom was a Canadian, and she has passed, as you had mentioned in the intro. Thank you for mentioning. She was a wonderful, wonderful woman. But she was a Canadian, and so she had a GED and waitressed out in Blythe, California, and I was a product of a teenage love. And I ended up being the first generation born in America, out in Blythe. I have my biological father is a not so pleasant person, so I have a lot of trauma. I had a lot of trauma to clear.
Right.
Right. And I know and that's part of like the starseed. Like the starseed template, we come in, like I was saying, with specific DNA lines to clear out, these are patterns that are carried over in our genetic makeup. And the way that you clear them is by experiencing them and then letting go of the guilt, the shame, the blame, and rewriting your memory that's attached to these traumatic events. For example, my mother was, she was abandoned whenever she was 8 months pregnant. I got abandoned when I was 8 months pregnant. It's really, there's a lot of women that have gone through that as well. My mom was a victim of rape. I was a victim of rape. I mean, it really comes through the DNA, the genetics, like what trauma you've been through, like your parent had been through whenever you're in the womb of the mother, whether it be a male or a female. All of that really plays into, your incarnation here on this earth, and especially in this time of ascension. I know I'm like a little bit all over the place, but I will get back to where I'm from and my roots and my story. I promise it'll all come together like a beautiful masterpiece at the end of the show. What else? Oh, yeah. So I went to high school there. I went from elementary school. I lived in a few other states. My mom kind of married. She was a single mom until I was 13. And then she married a farmer, so therefore she married the land. My life got a little bit, normal after that. But I did have a lot of experiences with I lived out in the desert, man. It was just like hills had eyes country. And I didn't know how to handle the energy then, so I would feel anxiety. Like my friends, they would be able to go out and we'd go mine hunting. So there's these old sulfur mines that we'd go out to, or like quartz. Everything where I was at was like all these crystals and rocks. Gem show. They have like I think it's like the world's largest gem show out in Quartzsite, Arizona. Which is only a 20-mile drive from where I live. So you can imagine we have all these amazing crystals and stuff out there. But anyways, we go out to the caves, and these Indian caves, and I would just start panicking for no reason. And everybody's like, well, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I'm like, I don't know. I just see things and I feel things, but I didn't understand what it was. I was so naive. I'm from a little town. Like, we only had one radio station that we channeled in from Phoenix, Arizona. It was country. And then you got lucky if you got like the Rick D's top 40 or top 20 countdown, and you were able to record it on a cassette.
Oh, yeah. Today's generation will never, ever know the plight and the anger of having a DJ speak over the first part of the song while you were sitting there with your fingers on play and record at the same time.
That's right. And, God bless that I was there, because the people that grow up in the city, it's a completely different experience. You're exposed to so much more. I was honestly one of the most naive people you'd know, even though after I got out of that town, I went to the Navy. I was just so naive. It's just innocent, like not innocent in my ways, no, but I was just naive and innocent to the world itself. And there was so much that I didn't understand or wasn't hip to, and esoteric knowledge just wasn't a thing. I grew up in a really tiny town. Like, the only reason why we had the population of 20,000 people is because they included the 2 prisons and all their inmates that were on the outskirts. So I went to high school and graduated with 82 kids in my class. And so it was just it was a big jump for me to go from a small town to, being stationed out in San Diego on a carrier at that, I worked on the USS Nimitz, and I worked in air department. Yeah. And then I went on to the Bonhomme Richard, and I worked in an air department there as well. I was an aviation boatswain's mate handler. And if you guys don't know what that is, I moved and, I operated little tractors that moved the aircraft around on the flight deck. We had little wands that light up, got the colorful T-shirts on.
Nice. Yeah. What kind of aircraft were you bringing in? Obviously, on the one you'd be bringing in helicopters, Sea Kings, or
we had E2s. We had helicopters. Yeah, we had the search and rescue helicopters. We had F-18s. I was on the ship when they decommissioned the very last, I think it was an F-16 or something like that, from the Navy side. I think the Air Force still
F-14. I'll play that one. An F-14.
Sure.
Tomcat.
Whatever it was. It was something old that they decommissioned, and I got to be on the ship there. We had F-18s. We had when I was on the Bonhomme Richard, I worked with helicopters and Harriers. So, I've had, we had a fair few of aircraft, although that was like 14 years ago for me. So it's kind of like, and I was only in for 4 years. You don't use it, you lose it. Yeah.
Either way, you did your duty.
Yeah, no, I did. I had a great time. I learned a lot, and still esoteric knowledge did not come in, although I loved being on the flight deck and being able to be in the middle of the ocean, and from all kinds of different oceans, the Gulf, the Atlantic, the Pacific. I got to experience the stars in a whole other way that, most don't get these days. Sailors back in the day, or anybody that's been a sailor or somebody that has the opportunity to go on like a Carnival cruise. Even then, the ship has lights on all day long. We'd go black out. So it's a beautiful experience being able to lay under the stars and see the vastness of it. Half the time you can't even find constellations just because all the other stars are just so bright, and there's an abundance of them. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, especially down there by Australia. That was one of my favorite places to visit. The energy there is just through the charts. It's amazing. And whenever you're crossing over these energetic ley lines again, I didn't even understand it at that point, but looking back at it now and the way that, I would not remember, and it's not to say that I was, a drunken sailor or anything like that. It was just there's parts like of your life that you should really remember. And there's ports that we went to that I was sober in, and I really don't remember them. And that's, whenever I was in that state, but going into a, deep meditation really and bringing up these memories, I was really excited to know that I was being healed and worked on, and my DNA was getting recalibrated, and my energy and my aura, everything was being attuned. I was taking up to this. It's a starship, Athena. Again, it is like the largest starship that the healing. The Arcturians have their healing there, and they take people up and they heal them all the time. You'll hear women talk about how when they were abused as a child, like they would come out of their body and they wouldn't remember it. And a lot of the times it was due to them, being taken to the starship Athena. Like you can come out, your body will stay, but the soul, will come out. You'll still be attached. There's this etheric cord, but you are being healed and worked on, and therefore you're not incoherent of what's taking place. It's absolutely beautiful what can be done. And once you get to a certain level of awareness or consciousness, whatever terminology you'd like to use, you appreciate it more because you feel, or me personally, I feel that connection. A lot of people, other people, they'll be able to see the pictures, they'll play out these pictures in their mind's eye, their third eye, their imagination, whatever you want to call it. There's a whole bunch of there's multiple ways to feel these or remember these situations. It's to each is their own, Are you a reader or do you like to watch videos, or are you a listener? It really goes with how you learn in life, that's another way that you can teach yourself to grow in your own consciousness. Like I did. So after that Navy experience, and I took off to Louisiana with a boyfriend of mine that I'd been with for a while, and then lived out there, and I had a great time out in the South. Oh my! The crawfish, just amazing.
I can't wait. Kerri Ann, I'm going to get you to hold on 1 second here because we're going to step out for our first break of the night. Kerri Ann Sanders is our guest tonight on the Mighty SOR, QuirkyCosmo.com. We're getting into celestial healing. Coming on up on Spaced Out Radio. Stay tuned.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything has an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thal, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now. The Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
Welcome back to the second half hour of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott. Great to have you with us. Kerri Ann Sanders, QuirkyCosmo.com is our guest tonight. Celestial healing is the topic. Kerri, welcome back. Or Kerri Ann, I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries. Either way, I respond to both. Thank you. All right.
I'm a little upset with myself right now. Because about 6 seconds ago, my eyes made contact with the cupcakes that are on my windowsill, and we just came out of break, and I didn't have a cupcake like I had planned to. And now I got to wait 30 minutes in order to get one of these damn cupcakes. I'm a little upset.
Oh, man. I think that's just your soul saying that you're going to wait on the sugar rush until the second hour. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
That's pretty much it. That you know what? There's always a meaning behind everything. Always a meaning. You know, right before the break, we were talking a little bit about you, how you got into this. When did you have your own spiritual awakening that really changed the entire course of your life?
Yeah. Well, I got a call from a medium, unplanned, unsolicited phone call from a medium January in 2017. It was almost 3 months after my mother had passed away, which she was like I've explained, my best friend, and she was very young. She was 52, so it was traumatic for me to lose a mother, at a young age like that for me. And then, anyways, so I got a phone call from a medium, and she was telling me things that had happened in my family dynamics that I'd already kind of felt, but wasn't aware of because I wasn't spiritually awakened yet. So when she had told me that, she was channeling my mother, and she was telling me all this stuff about my family that you couldn't find on Facebook, you couldn't find on the internet. I didn't post, about my life like that. Everything was happy-go-lucky and cheerful. It was fake book for me at that time. And keeping up with the Joneses kind of status, suburban life. And so when she told me about some of the dynamics that had been taking place in my family dynamics after following my mother's death, I was very intrigued. And I was so excited that, my mother had reached out from the spirit realm, which I didn't even know about. Like, I honestly I didn't even know what a psychic really was. I've heard of 1-800-PSYCHIC, and I was like, that's bogus. Or seeing a palm reader. I'd never seen a palm reader. I didn't know what tarot cards were. I had no idea. I mean, naive, straight naive, but I wasn't supposed to. And the shitty thing is I actually grew up watching Charmed. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but
I do remember
I
that.
really watched it. Yeah, and I love practical magic. But I always thought it was fictional, like child's imagination. I didn't take it into that stuff actually exists and you can go to the store and buy that stuff. I didn't think about it like that. I was like, oh, this is just really, anyways. So whenever I got the phone call from her, I was like, all right. I called my dad and I was like, I asked him all these questions, the medium had said that my mom had warned me about, and my stepdad had denied, this is my stepdad, had denied, no. And then come to find out, a couple weeks later, everything that she had said was super true. And at that point, I jumped on. I didn't know where else to go. So I went to YouTube. I'm like, well, what do you do? What is a medium? So I went on YouTube on my phone. I'm typing in medium, what's a psychic? And then I came across tarot readings. And, I found this amazing tarot reader. And I started following her and her videos. And I was just starstruck, right? And I was also super depressed. I had just opened up my day spa. And so I had a lot on my plate, and I lived in California. So I was very stressed out. I had a lot on my plate, and I accidentally smoked some pot in my garage, and I was watching these tarot, readings. And therefore I didn't know it at the time, but I was energetically connecting to this reader, because, you can cross energies with anybody at any space time, wherever, any continuum. And I had smoked a little bit too much pot, made a couple too many gummies, and I had a Kundalini experience. So I think what you'd like to call it accidental, but it's nothing by accident. Everything's by purpose and divinely planned. But I had an accident, quote unquote, accidental, a Kundalini experience or awakening. And at that point, I felt like whenever you go to download, whatever, on your phone, like a new software program, say you have an iPhone, the iOS, software program comes in, your phone's just like spinning and downloading all these new, techniques, gears and all that was happening in my mind. Like, I felt like I was just getting a ton of books shoved into my head at once. My eyes started twitching. My heart started palpitating. I just started taking in so much knowledge, like from the ethers. I was tapped into the Akashic, and I was just remembering all kinds of information. And at that point, I took a walk outside, and the stars started talking to me. The constellations started talking to me, the galaxies and all that started talking to me. And I was like, Aurora Borealis, what's that? I didn't even think to, I was out there by my roses. I had a whole bunch of roses in my backyard anyways. And I was like, I thought this was a bougainvillea, not a Aurora Borealis. Like, I didn't even realize that I have claircognizance. So I just know, what comes through me is pure source or frequency, and it's pure channeling. So how you'd have Esther Hicks or Abraham, she channels Abraham, you have people that straight channel their higher self, there's no disconnect, but it's just very fluid, and it's a knowing for me. And so whenever I was out there by my roses, I was like, no, these aren't Aurora Borealis. These are bougainvilleas. I was like, what the shit? So I looked it up. I was like, oh, that's a constellation. And I looked right above me, and there it was, the crown. It's the crown constellation, or the alpaca. It's 7.
Right.
It has more than 7 stars. But anyway, so it was right above me, and right above my backyard at that time where we were at in January 2017. And I was like, oh my God. And I went running in the house, and I was explaining to my husband what was going on. I was like, they're talking to me. The star's talking to me. I was like, I was just out back there. I just was going crazy. I was like, and then I'm seeing this, and I'm having all of these epiphanies, and I started seeing colors. Like within weeks, I started seeing colors. I had spirit guides talking to me. I had the trees, the devas, talking to me. I was standing out in my backyard eating a bowl of Lucky Charms. And the trees started talking to me to put the cereal away. And the other tree, it was like wind had picked up and pushed my neighbor's tree, which had some kind of fruit on it, and had pushed it onto my side. And the trees were like, now come and get this, come eat this, come eat this. And I was like, I was nervous. I was so scared. Like, my heart was beating, and I was walking foot by foot to my trees. I'm kidding you not. This is the intimidation that I felt, coming into my awareness. It was very rapid for me. And I did start seeing colors. I started talking to the wind, the elements really quickly. I'm very connected. And my soul is just a very ancient soul, and I am attuned to the elements on a grand scale. I mean, I work with the ocean currently. Why I chose to move out here to Florida is because I work with the ocean out here and the ocean life. So that is part of what I do.
Lots of sharks. Lots of sharks.
Yes, there are.
So I mean, yeah, that's why Dave doesn't go into the ocean, because I'm a meal, not an appetizer. But nonetheless, in regards to what you were seeing and feeling at any time, and I mean this as a respectful question and not to give you a shot, because a lot of people, I know even with myself, when I had my own awakening experience, I was questioning my own sanity when weird things would happen. You know, all of a sudden, you know, you feel a little bump on your shoulder and hear a voice, "Excuse me," and there's nobody there. You know, like somebody's walking by you and they bump into you, or something along those lines. It's a little bit weird when all of a sudden, you know, you're like, okay, coming around this corner, there's going to be a bunch of deer. I better slow down. You go around the corner and there's a bunch of deer. Things like that happen. And it trips a lot of people out when they don't know why this is happening to them. They don't know what is going on. So at any time, did you just sit back and say, okay, is this real, or do I need to be seeing a shrink about this?
I honestly, I didn't go to the, no, I really, when I came into it, it was so natural for me. It sounded crazy to everybody. I sounded crazy to everybody else. I mean, I honestly brought over my friends, my neighbors, and I was explaining celestials and frequency. This is all readily within the first 6 months of my awakening. And so in the amount of information that I was guided to, and I mean, when I mean I suck up energy, there are certain starseed locations that you are attuned to downloading from the Akashic and remembering instantaneously on a cellular level. So you are just really aware of your presence and purpose. And I was guided to a plethora of information that gave me, within the first 6 months of my awakening, that gave me confidence in what I was doing. I mean, did I think I was losing my marbles at one point? Absolutely. I felt like I was losing my marbles, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Is this really what I'm here for? But I was constantly supported by spirit and my spirit guides and the celestial assistants, that I didn't, you know, I was grateful too, because my ex-husband, his soul was, you know, everything's divine and everything's made to be the way that it is. And I had a counterpart that was equally understanding and open-minded, you know, to what is out there. So, I mean, did I get put in a loony bin? No. Should I, you know, with half the stuff that I was, you know, battling around about, you know, time to time, you know, running across to my neighbors, like, you know, telling them half the stories that are coming through to me. And, you know, I had moments, but, you know, you just have to have faith in yourself. You know, you have to believe that you're guided to things for reasons. Everything has a purpose. You know, if you are on this path and you're listening right now and you're questioning like your sanity or you're questioning yourself, don't. Be open to all possibilities. Be open to all the doors that are opening for you, even if, you know, they lead to a gray area. You're meant to go into a gray area, or a darker area. You're meant to go into a darker area. You have to have the contrast in life to know what you want and the direction. You have to have the experience. Again, back to the DNA. That's how we rewrite our patterns, right, in our DNA, because our DNA it's an energetic construct, okay? And so you have to have these moments where you can be in deep, I call it shadow, you know, the shadow self. You can be in deep shadow moments, but you have to have them to experience, you know, the brighter side or the direction that you know you want to go to get out of that, so that you're rewriting your own memories, your cellular memories. So just don't lose faith in yourself. Don't lose faith in your guides, because you're always supported, you're always protected, and everything happens for a reason. Even if you don't understand that in that moment, just know that in time you will come to an awareness of it. And we all have dark night of the soul, tower moments, shadow moments. They are what make us that, you know, Buddhas, that suffering. You don't know the light or the love until you've understood the suffering of it. And that's the whole idea behind empathy and compassion. You know, it's how can you feel for somebody that has gone without food if you've never gone without food? You don't have that empathy unless you've been through that experience yourself. So, you know, and that is another reason. It's that template. You know, there's a template that we all carry. It's our DNA, and they carry frequencies which you know, are psychological, emotional understandings and experiences that we'll have in life. And in order to help others that are, you know, that are coming, you know, after us, like our children, the teenagers. I'm 30. I just turned 34 the other day. So anybody that's, you know, younger than me or waking up after myself, you know, we go through these specific events in our life so that we can have that empathy or compassion, you know, for them as well, because they want to be able to relate. You know, it's just like what I've been through all in my life. I'm able to relate to so many men and women, you know, that were in the military that, you know, have been a victim of the Me Too movement, which is, you know, being raped and victimized. And, you know, I had an abusive father. We all have certain experiences so that we can help others. And your awakening experience, your ascension process, your journey, you know, everybody's is unique to them and their circumstance, but it's also on a certain frequency as everybody else. So the exact experience it might be different, you know, person and place, but the emotion behind it still carries a certain frequency that, you know, hundreds of thousands of people will relate to, and they want to have that connection. It's just like whenever you're watching it, you know, a stand-up show or stand-up comedy, everybody wants to laugh. So that's why they go there, because they all mutually want to laugh. So, you know, that's why you're going to be going through these experiences and awakenings and, you know, self-doubts and judgments and shame and guilt and joy and bliss and all of the whole rainbow of emotions. But it is, again, I'm not beating a dead horse here, but it is so that, you know, whenever you're out there and you come out of your quote unquote woo closet, or spiritual closet, or awakening, or you just, you know, like, hey, I'm part of the metaphysical or extraterrestrial, you know, world, I'm awake. You know, it's so that you can relate and people will be like, yeah, I like you. You rock. Like, I've been through that too, you know, and you want that. That's camaraderie. We get that in high school with our groups. We get that in college, you know, with a fraternity, a sorority, or in the Navy or in the military. It's camaraderie. You know, it's a feeling of having a place and somebody that can, you know, resonate with you. And yes. So I definitely, where am I going with this? Oh, yeah. I'm like, where am I?
You know, I think it's also important to get to the point that, you know, you also got in contact with your own spirit guides as they seem to come out of the woodworks as people open up. What was that like for you, as we got about 3 minutes before we have to go to break?
Oh, wow. Again. Yeah. So, I mean, coming out of the with my spirit guides, like I said, it was pretty quick, but I am a feeler, so I felt them, and then I started seeing color instantly. So I would see color variations around people, and then I would also start seeing the organic matrix. And you can look outside, anybody can. You take a few deep breaths, and this is an instant thing though. So you take a few deep breaths and you can start seeing like a little speckles in the sky, especially right now, and over like organic areas where there's a lot of trees and nature, but a lot of speckles in the sky, or sparkles or glitter, or it's the organic matrix. And, you know, and I started seeing that really like rapidly. And then after I started seeing that, I started seeing like frequency waves. Like whenever you open up you open up the grill and you see like the heat waves. I started seeing heat waves everywhere. And then after time and practice, which is breathing and being calm within self, I started seeing the geometric shapes and how the matrix, or the, you know, organic matrix started, how it would form itself. And through that, I was able to understand or understand what specific entities would be around me, which celestials would be around me. They would bring in a certain frequency, a different shape would take place, or I'd start feeling a certain energy within myself. So that really helped with breathing, going to yoga. And yoga was just this, as I'm a very hyper person, so and I danced. So I was also I did Zumba, like it was, the best thing ever. But that really helped me get all out my stress and my worry and let go of what the world thought and just be okay with who I was. That really also helped me open up to my clairs and my guides. See, I would hear things, but it wasn't as strongly as I would know things. And then I would see things with my two eyes, to be honest. It wasn't really my third eye. I mean, I could see through my third eye whenever I would go into meditation, but when you can see with your two eyes, it was just totally different. So just using the body, exerting the mind, because your ego or your personality, it really curves your ability to feel or sense these extrasensory gifts that we have. Everybody has. Yeah.
Absolutely. And on that note, I'm going to get you to hold on, because we are at the top of the hour where we're going to take a quick break here on the Mighty SOR. Kerri Ann Sanders is our guest tonight. Celestial healing is what we're going to get into in hour number 2, along with your questions. So make sure, if you're in one of the chat rooms or Twitter, make sure you put your questions in capital letters so I can get them to this lovely young lady who just celebrated a birthday a couple days ago. Happy belated birthday. You are listening to Spaced Out Radio. QuirkyCosmo.com is Kerri Ann's website. Go check it out during the break while you're rocking out to Mr. B. We'll be back. Looking for the stories of the strange and weird that you will find hard to find anywhere else? Check out the SOR Newswire on our website. Our writers, led by Captain Shirk, are scouring the world for the oddest and most bizarre stories we can find. Everything from weird crime to suspenseful and paranormal. We're working hard for you to bring you the most intriguing news of your day. Check out the SOR Newswire at spacedoutradio.com today.
Every night on Spaced Out Radio, we have places for you to hang out. Hi, this is Carl. Join our SOR Space Travelers group on Facebook for live chat. On Twitter, using hashtag Spaced Out Radio. You can also join us in our Spreaker chat room. Check us out on Instagram at Dave Scott SOR. All of our archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. By the way, I'll be watching you at your window until you do. Bye!
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio. The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social Media Freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Do you want to know what's really going on in your world? Do you have questions about who you can trust in the mainstream media? Then look no further than the Rebel Planet. Come get the straight answers right here at spacedoutradio.com. Join me, Jamie Sexton, creator of Rebel Planet News, as I fill you in on the stories behind the stories. All you truth seekers, be sure to tune in to Rebel Planet on spacedoutradio.com the third Thursday of every month.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot Thal. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with Dave Scott. Follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio and on Facebook, Spaced Out Radio Show.
Welcome back to hour number 2 of Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, I am your host, Dave Scott. Thank you for being with us. Tomorrow night on the show, we were planning on having John Tenney, but emergency-wise, he had to fly out of town. He's not going to be available, so we're bringing in the mad scientist, Chris Cogswell, former MUFON scientist, joining us to talk about Mars, Bob Lazar, UFOs, and so much more. We get going at 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern at spacedoutradio.com. Hi to everyone listening in on the SOR Radio Network and Deep Talk Radio. Don't forget, all of our archives are free at youtube.com/Spaced Out Radio. Do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. Bill Cardwell has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Ambisinistrous. Ambisinistrous is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, space travelers, as Bill sets a password each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot, shop at our Spaced Out Radio store. Soon it's going to look brand new with a lot of cool swag. And Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire is up and ready for your reading as well. Tonight we are talking celestial healing. Our guest tonight is Kerri Ann Sanders. Her website, quirkycosmo.com. You're definitely going to want to check it out. She has just a ball full of energy. Ball full of energy. Bringing it to us tonight, Kerri Ann. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again. Wow, 2 hours. I mean, the top of the second hour. That was like super fast.
I told you it would. I told you it would.
You did.
Let's do this. Let's do this.
So let's go ahead and get into this.
All right. I'm just, I got a couple questions coming from the audience here, but I want to get into celestial healing first and foremost. Now, this was a term that kind of came to you out of the spot. So I'm curious how it came to you and what does it mean to you?
Well, it came to me because I was honestly in search of what do I do because of the what I was doing. I was channeling the constellations. I was channeling galactics, and then I was using light language, which came very fluidly from me. And I was like, well, what do I call this? And, and I was also using astrology because I had learned astrology, and I was using tarot cards and oracle cards to heal. I was using so many different modalities, and I had came into gene keys as well and the 7 rays. And I was just at a loss of what do I call it? I didn't want to be a coach. I didn't want to be a counselor. I was like, that's so, it didn't resonate with me. So I was just sitting, and I was guided, and they were like, multidimensional celestial healer. I was like, boom, that's it. I was like, absolutely, because I'm using multiple dimensions of consciousness and working with different people at whatever level of consciousness that they're at, which is a dimension, because it's all in the mind. And celestial is because, the cosmic, the constellations are celestial, and that's our family. And, and I'm here as in this incarnation to remind people that you are from the stars. You are a star. And some people are from this star, which is Earth, and they haven't had an incarnation off of this planet. And then there are a lot of people that are starseeds that are awakened or not awakened right now on this planet that are from other star galaxies, like star systems, galaxies, universes, that are star-seeded, and they carry different frequencies and consciousness. That's another thing is other planets and star systems, they don't all have the same frequency, carry the same frequency or consciousness. Like There's some that are ninth dimensional, some are sixth, some are fourth. Orion was a fourth dimensional constellation or galaxy, and it was a duality experience. And so, whenever you go to Andromeda, they're a 12th dimensional galaxy. So there's just different levels of awareness that people will be awakened to upon their awakening, based on their personal incarnation on these different star systems. So that has a lot to do with what I was teaching or what I teach and what I heal in people and help them understand. It's not an understanding, it's an understanding, because it comes from within. And that's another thing that and then, healing, that's what we do. We're all here energetically healing Gaia or Terra, the earth, the frequencies, the planet itself, the people, humanity that exists on this planet. So it just really, I was guided to the label of multidimensional celestial healer based on all of the qualities in which I was healing in people. What else? I also just really loved talking to people about, again, their the stars and the star-seed locations and how it pertains to their life, and their dreams. People get a lot of dreams, and they want to know what the interpretations really mean. And a lot of the time it has to do with their soul trying to have them remember, off-planet memory so that they feel connected. Because people, not all, and I'm not trying to generalize everybody, but the people that are attracted to my energy, they feel like abandoned. And, again, they don't want to step out into the open with this, and they don't want to pursue the celestial or extraterrestrial, alien, or spiritual path, because they're like, well, I don't really have a connection to it, right? But they do. They're just, they're unaware of what their dream, their self is trying to tell them while they're in the dream state, or in our waking state. Really, this is being on this earth. That's the dream. But again, that comes with time and understanding of your purpose. The multidimensional healing. So that's that. But I really do a lot of light language activation. We are energetic beings, and you resonate to frequency and tones in your voice, and you as a person carry specific frequencies, and the more that you come to a higher perspective or consciousness or oneness, understanding, you raise in your own vibration. So you're able to heal. This is like what you would hear about in ancient texts as miraculous healings. It is, if you're carrying these higher frequencies of love and joy and bliss and compassion, then even just having a conversation with somebody, if you hold these higher frequencies, you heal their body just from the vibration that your voice carries, because it's all energy, being in your aura. Everybody that's listening right now on the radio, they're regardless if I do light language or not, they're getting a DNA activation just by, listening to my voice, or whoever else, comes on the show that has a higher, vibration. I came in with a 12th dimensional consciousness, and that's instant Akashic, instant celestial, and there's a lot of awakened people on the planet, but they awaken at lower consciousnesses, like a fourth dimension, or fourth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth dimension consciousness, and then they grow in their awareness to the 30th, 40th, and above. If they get there, that God consciousness, that's the Buddha, that's the masters, and they have. There's a lot of us that have incarnated here at this time. and it is to ascend the people and to awaken them. And I'm one that's here to awaken about your origins. That you are a star in a body. This is an avatar. You're able to be like a software program. Just reprogram yourself. You are a soul with a body, not a body with a soul. It's the other way around. It's what we've been brainwashed, programmed to believe, or told to believe, so that we wouldn't understand our power to co-create with this beautiful universe. And that takes place within the heart and the mind working in unison with each other. And then obviously tapping into your soul. I mean, it's not that that whole like consciousness, like, oh, it's my higher self. It's like, no, it is you. It is you. It is not part of you. It is 100% you. Like when I'm actually working on redirecting myself when I say my higher self, because it's not my higher self. It is myself. I'm just open to being fluid and embodying it all within this flesh suit, walking on this plane, on this, right. And that really helps too, because you don't want to be separate. It talks to that. Your DNA, it specifically genetically reads, I am God. You are God. So why would you be anything separate from that frequency? That is another level in consciousness and awareness, and that helps you to walk in the path of your authentic self. And I do want to tap into this now.
Okay. So what is it?
If you have any, So I want to tap into this because we are walking in a higher frequency. This planet hasn't been at this high of a frequency since Atlantis fell and Lemuria and all that. So when we're talking about spiritual practice, there are a lot of spiritual practices out there that model the mystic, the yogi sitting on the cliff, humdrumming, taking no action, having a very boring life. You got to do it this way. You got to stretch that way. You got to dot your I's and cross your T's a specific way. And that's on the level of no. That's the way that, we have as souls for thousands of years. We did come in here and incarnate and grow that way, but that's not the way. That's not the way of like becoming, spiritually in tune and with your guidance and with your authentic self. You're not needing to take the yoga approach, the yogic approach anymore. It's not to sit there and become boring. A lot of people get deterred from this journey because they're like, oh, well, I don't want to be boring. I don't want to give up my entire life. Like, you're going to make changes to your persona, your personality. You're going to fine tune it to where you can put it in check, and it's not your personality, your programming is not driving you. You are driving your personality. But that doesn't mean that you have to be boring, because I will tell you right now, I am anything but a boring person, and I am tapped in, tuned in, and on top of it when it comes to, channeling and healing people with higher consciousness and frequency. And I'm the first one to tell you, I am not a vegan. I do not practice yoga every day. Now, I do get out and walk and stretch, and I move my body. I'm very much big on dancing and things like that. But I don't, it's not like I walk around and I'm like, oh, that was just so beautiful of you, darling. Like, no, I'm not all humdrum. I keep it real. Like, you got to be real. I mean, not to say that you got to be mean. Don't be mean, but keep it real, people. And the reason why we incarnated in the past and you have all these spiritual yogic practices that are very humdrum and boring and monotone, it is because we were in a patriarchal ran timeline, okay? And we as a collective, as a race, as a human race, we were evolving, and we were in a cycle where the species had to experience what we'd like to call contrast, the dark side. So as we went through the dark side, the souls that came here and incarnated and, sat on the edges of cliffs and lived as nomads and, had a very, I would say, boring life. It was because that's where you had to be at that time. Otherwise, you were going to get chopped up and thrown away or drowned or murdered or raped or beheaded or whatever the case may be. That was all like for a growth, a learning experience, and that is not now. That is not now. And a lot of people, and I mean that a lot. And I'm in a quite a few collective, conscious collective groups and community out here where I live, and it is really conscious community out here where I live. But a lot of people will stop in their path because they have these past life experiences within their DNA or their cellular memory, and they want to step forward into their path, but they're like, I'm going to get beheaded, so I can't speak, so I gotta watch my words, and they get stuck in this like, well, you can't wear makeup. Baloney. Embrace that. The Egyptians embraced that. The Atlanteans embraced that. I don't know if but the Egyptians and the Atlanteans, they embraced, the beauty and the adding the extra to the makeup, and that's Venusian. That is Earth. That is Libra. That everybody carries all of these zodiacs, by the way, within their personality and their soul. Being here on this planet. But everybody carries all 12 zodiacs in their chart. It just depends on the intensity of it, okay? So, but you're not supposed to be bland. You don't have to be vegan. If you would like to eat your meat, then, at least be grateful for it being on your plate. It's not to say that you have to sit around the table and give a 12-minute speech about everything that took place with the animal that got it there and so forth. Be grateful that it's there. Change the frequency of it if it's not, natural, or you didn't hunt it, or you don't know where it came from. Change the frequency of it, But to be a person, you are still in this reality. We are still functioning in reality. We're here at a time where we're breaking down structures. We're seeing the structures falling. So it's really about like being authentic, standing out, and speaking your truth, whatever that truth is for you in that time. And don't look back on your truth and go, after you've had like a couple doses of consciousness awareness, rising, and go, dang, whoa, what was I saying? Why did I, everything that you say, everything that you do is specific for you in that time, in that moment, so that you can grow. And never look back on your past as it was a problem or, you were less than what you are now. It's absolutely not true. You're still the most loving and unconditional person.
I got a question from our audience, and this one comes from BTO. Very spiritual dude himself. He's got a great beard. Very good beard. We always like to point that out. He is asking, who are your guides, and which federation and or council do you feel you are associated with?
I'm on the Venusian Council. I deal with the Pleiadians, Ashtar Command. I'm a multi-realm, so I'm a bridge. So I actually have connections to the Pleiades, Sirius, Vega, Altair, Orion, Spica, Arcturus, Andromeda, and Rigel, Regulus, and Antares. I'm like, how am I not forgetting that one? That's a major one. Scorpio for me. Antares. I have a lot of connections to a lot of starseed locations. I am an ancient soul. My soul, not this incarnation, my soul has been around before this planet was created. That would be my Lyran connections. I'm also Carrion, which are the creators of the Draconian. So to say which council I represent, I'm a bridge, and that to me is, it's like being the butterfly. It's a great example. You know, I was a butterfly in high school. I didn't belong to just one group. I went in between them all, and I found balance and harmony and brought people together through each group. I brought unity, and that's what I do here on the celestial level with the people and the star seeds. So does that answer? I hope that answers it.
Sure. Perfect.
Yeah. Oh, give me another question. I like these. I like questions.
Well,
my guy.
I'm scrolling the chat rooms as we speak. So you just got to bear with me a little bit. We got about 2.5 minutes here before we have to go to break at the bottom of the hour. But I do want to ask you, in regards to your own personal awakening, how did this affect the people around you? Did it pull people away? Did everybody move forward? Was there a mixture of the two?
There was a mixture of the two. My ex-husband, even though I'm saying ex, we're still best of friends. It really brought him to his awakening. My girlfriends, I lost quite a few of them, which I thought were my girlfriends, but they really weren't. They were my suburban friends. But, you know, my family, you know, they were a little bit thrown off. You know, she's a wackadoodle. She's losing her mind. She lost her mom. She lost her company. She's losing her mind. You know, but now, you know, my stepdad and I will sit back and he talk more metaphysics than I do. You know, my little sister, she works for a marketing company, and she was super excited when she's like, my boss, she does astrology like you do. So she's stepping into it. And I've personally brought in 2 of my cousins. You know, I honestly, I have a very supportive family. They really like the authenticity that I bring. They're just like, do it to it, girl. Like, but as far as friends-wise, I lost a lot of friends, as you like to say, or if you call them. And now I have a smaller circle, but they're so amazing and open-minded, and their energy is through the roof. You know, I'm proud of who I have as a friend now. And before, it was surface. It was super surface. It was superficial. The things that we talk about, we'd always drink. You know, we'd bitch and they'd moan and complain about our lives, and now it's like the people I hang around with, we're constantly like, I'm so grateful for this. Let's go and bless the ocean. Let's go and talk to the trees. Let's channel. We'll get together and we'll like channel down some multidimensional or celestial guidance. You know, right now I'm in the midst of creating these retreats, really, and that'll lead to larger events or oases or like communities. So that's what I'm big projects are coming with the people that I associate with now and call friends. So I am very grateful for the awakening.
Kerri Ann Sanders, you hold on tight. We are going to go to break here at the bottom of the hour. QuirkyCosmo.com is Kerri Ann's website. Go check it out while you're listening to these great promos and ads from Spaced Out Radio. We'll be back right after this on the mighty SOR.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social media freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set yourself free.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch. Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything has an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot THAL, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
We passed the halfway point of Spaced Out Radio tonight. I am your host, Dave Scott. Good to have you listening with us. Talking with Kerri Ann Sanders tonight from QuirkyCosmo.com. That's QuirkyCosmo.com about celestial healing. Welcome back, Kerri Ann.
Thank you. Awesome.
Tell me about healing.
Ready to...
You ready? You ready? I'm ready.
I'm ready. Okay.
All right. Tell me about healing. How do you do it? How does it affect people? What's going on? What's your success rate?
Well, my success rate is pretty good. I've had clients where I've healed their kidney disease. I've had clients where they had tooth decay, and within 3 days it was completely gone and their teeth were white without seeing a dentist. The tooth decay had come from years of being on antibiotics as a child, and I've been able to heal a man that had nerve damage in his back and excruciating pain since his early 20s. He had been in a wreck, and he was well into his 50s, and I just had the intent and gave him a hug, and the next day, his back pain was completely gone. He was able to jump around, and he cried and made it a point to, come and see me to let me know that I'd healed him. I've had a non-client, just a person that he was an older gentleman, and he hadn't walked in probably 10 years. He was in a mobile chair, and within touching and intent again, and making him laugh, he was walking down the stairs within 20 minutes. I've had a lot of experiences where I've just healed people, not even knowing that I could do what I did. I was just wanting to make them feel better on an emotional level, and setting the intention for them to have the highest healing possible, and holding that truth in my heart. I've had a lot of healing. I mean, I did have a client. He was had some eyesight distortion, and I wasn't able to help better him in that sense, but I was able to lift his spirits and give him hope. And so it really that's my only non-success story, I guess. But he still is very grateful, and we do talk about other things. But a lot of this has to do with beliefs if you have certain beliefs within yourself at a subconscious level, then if you believe that you can't be healed, then you will not be healed. If you have a desire to be healed, a longing to be healed, then you can be healed. You will be healed. There's that. I've activated with my light language. I've activated hundreds of people, thousands of people with my light language. I get emails daily from my YouTube channel, and I haven't even really posted that many videos on my YouTube. I've gone more live on my Facebook account and my Instagram account, doing live channelings from sacred sites. I visit sacred sites, and I allow celestial assistance or Gaia or the whatever indigenous spirit that is, or spirit or elementals that are around me to channel through me, through sound, through frequency. And I've activated a lot of people's DNA, which when that happens, when your DNA gets activated through this light language healing, you experience life. Life happens, like life starts to happen. You start to get more experiences, and so that these patterns, that's what they are, is patterns, play out in your reality. That way you can recognize them, and then you have a consciousness and you grow. So I activate dormant cells that are already in your body, obviously, and this generates an experience in your reality, and therefore you come to a higher awakening or consciousness as well. Some people experience tears. A lot of people experience like an emotional response. Some people experience a physical response. Some people experience an instantaneous healing. It really just depends on the person and how they are open to the frequencies. Now, not only do I do the light language healing and activations, but I also do a specific with their auras. So I pull entities. I pull like what you would like to call spiritual contracts from people, but it's just energetic cords that are attached to people's energy fields. I do that. I don't really channel what I like to call, what people call angelic. I don't channel angels per se, because I see everything as frequency, and the angel, which just means messenger, came from the biblical text, and I don't typically follow all that. I look at it more of a celestial, because that's what they are. It's a frequency. It's a star system, and we're at this level of awakening and consciousness on the planet where people are really needing to understand that they are a star, that they are more than just this body, and that they have a higher purpose. And that is my purpose, to be here to explain or help guide people into this understanding. But anyways, back to the healing, and that's healing too in itself, just knowing, that you're more than what you've been told you are. That's really big for a lot of people. Also, I do, with the celestial healing, I look at your astrology chart. Now, I've talked about these starseed locations. You can actually get online, and you can go to astro.com, and you can it says 6 fixed stars. There's 6 fixed stars automatically that'll pop up, and you put in your birthday, your time, and your location. You click the 6 fixed stars, and then you can go down and list down to, it says list of additional constellation or fixed stars, and you can select whatever one, maybe you're drawn to a certain one. Maybe like what your birth month is. Maybe you want to check that constellation. It's like Scorpio, Sagittarius, Taurus. You want to check these constellations or whatever. But you can go on there and you can pull up your own chart and see your star seed locations. Now, a lot of people will channel their celestial guidance,
right.
Or if you, and then others, if they want more proof to the pudding, some proof, You can go and look at your astrology chart. I mean, I walk people through theirs all the time. That's what my coaching is. It's an 8-week program where I take you through your human design, which is your meridians, your channels. And it's human design is very intricate. I'm just giving a very simple understanding of, human design and the meridians and how you connect with people on an energetic level through your planetary alignments, astrology, and then gene keys, which is the psychological understanding of, your DNA. And each one of these tools that I use, I show my clients, friends really at this point. I create a very strong bond with people. They love me. I love them, but I show them how to take their life and know thyself. I teach them how to follow what's going on in their life based on the planetary alignment. And, not only is it just that I'm doing these DNA activations and healings and, mentoring, guiding, being somebody's friend, but I show them how to utilize the tools that are out there. Maybe somebody's more drawn to, using oracle cards to talk to their guides before they're ready to open up their clairs. So I teach them, how to, or walk them through and guide them to maybe purchase a specific deck that I'm guided to tell them to get, maybe a book, maybe an audio. I do channel in their spirit guides. I get a lot of family members that come to, or even past life, spirit guides will stick with you for it's incarnation after incarnation. You don't even know, you can have a spirit guide that was your best friend, 2 incarnations ago, and he's got in the 1920s, and I go to tell him that guide. They're like, oh, that sounds so familiar, but I don't know who Joe is. And I'm like, well, then I start describing what this spirit guide looks like. They're like, oh my gosh, my body's covered in goosebumps, or, I just got this sharp, pinch, or whatever their emotional or physical reaction may be. But, there's so much that I offer everybody that comes to me. I just do it. I mean, I get people that I meet on the street, and I just do this for them. I'll pop up my phone, give me your birthday. Do you know the time? And I'll just pull it up, and I'll well, this is where you're from. I want people to be comfortable and to know that they're connected and that there's so much more. And it's not to knock out any belief system that they have. It's not to say that they're wrong or whatever they're doing is wrong. It's not. It's where they're at right then and right there. But who doesn't like a new pair of shoes? You know what I'm saying? You like to put on a new pair of shoes and walk in those for a while. It feels good. It looks good. And it just brings a whole new vibration to your life. And, that's what people are looking for. They're looking for a purpose, a reason to live with the mundane. That's the celestial healing. It's bringing the cosmos to you, through you, and for you, and teaching you how to see it for yourself, until you can embody it and live it. Definitely.
I do have to ask though, okay, because I do have to play devil's advocate at times. When you are telling people, to buy a deck or to go to the store and get some crystals or some type of healing cream, I mean, that's playing with people's budgets. That's playing with people's livelihood, and sometimes they may not be able to afford it. How do you maintain the careful scrutiny where you don't want to put somebody out of their budget or out of their way, saying, "Oh my God, if you don't go buy this certain type of crystal, that bad things are going to happen," because you have to be very detailed and honest with people, but you have to also be considerate, because what you are doing is, I mean, it's not even considered a fringe science.
Well, it's a quantum science, but well, let me just put it this way: I lost everything I had within the 6 months of my awakening. I went from having a very large company to almost foreclosing on our house. Thank God it sold in short. Like right when it went foreclosure, it sold. Thank God. And then, so I had not a pot to pee in, I guess you'd like to say. And my daughter and my son, and I've got young kids, so we do arts and crafts like it's the coolest thing on earth. And it is. But we made like my cards, my original oracle cards, and you know, so you can, and I went online and that's what we did. And we just took index cards and we wrote on them. It's about intent. I mean, you can go out and go get tarot cards whenever that budget suits you or you have the ability to. I don't push things like that. I'm more the person that's going to tell you to go put a sticky on the wall that says smile, the one that's going to remind you to be grateful, to do the little things. My cousin, and I can talk fluidly about this because I know she doesn't care, she lives in a very desolate area in Arizona and had literally she had to walk to go get water, fill it up, and bring it back to her trailer. And she came to her awakening, and I was like, you need to go get a crystal. I said, you're going to go for a walk, and you're going to find a crystal. And she, no joke, went out for a walk and found a crystal on the ground. You know, and she collected a few rocks, you know, just some regular rocks, you know, but they all carry a frequency. It doesn't matter if you've got the prettiest amethyst or if you've got the you know, dullest looking piece of limestone, or it's actually a really good one to have, some limestone conductor. But still, my point being is you can go pick up a penny and it's still going to carry a frequency. It's an element. It's earth. You can go pick up a piece of wood and it's going to carry a frequency. You know, every element, everything that's on this earth, it's of organic nature, which are rocks, water, or, you know, earthy elements. Whenever I first moved out to Florida, I didn't have a whole lot still at that point. And I wanted to give my friends things because everybody was giving me free food because we didn't have food it was hard. And I wanted to give my thanks. So I looked up and I saw that, you know, I lived around a bunch of ashwood. And so I took the ashwood and I took yarn, purple yarn and green yarn that I had from our arts and crafts box. And I let it dry out and I wrapped it up and bundled it and I gave it to my friends. And you can burn ashwood and it acts as a healing, you know, it's a manifester. It helps you manifest, and it's a healing agent, again, and it clears the energies. And my friends were super grateful for it, and it made me feel better. So, I mean, I definitely don't push what people can and cannot get. I mean, for one, now I'm a single mom, and, you know, I do well for myself, but that's because I'm also a 100% disabled veteran. So that has really helped me out. And in the process, whenever we had lost everything, it was what kept the food on our table for as long as it could, and the roof over our heads, and the air conditioning in the house. Like, you know, so I completely understand what it's like to want all of these tools and everything like that. And if you do have access to a library and a computer, you know, you have the ability to go online at these libraries and go to Google and you can read a lot of these books that I've, you know, come across are on, you know, Google Books, or you can go to the library and they're in there. You can also make your own tarot deck, or you can go get my cousin. She went and I didn't even know this until she told me, but you can get playing cards and you can use them as tarot cards. You just got to look online and write down what it is, you know, and that's how she started learning tarot. So, I mean, where there's a will, there's a way, for sure. And I don't push more than what anybody, you know, can afford. I completely understand that.
We got about 2.5 minutes before we got to go to break at the top of the hour. It's been a fast 2 hours so far with Kerri Ann Sanders tonight. And Kerri, I do want to ask and mention, in regards to healing, is it a mental issue that people are having that they have to break through in order to pretty much reclaim their own body, their own status, their own, level of consciousness? Is that what we need to be focusing on with the healing?
Yes, absolutely. It is. It's a personality. So your personality is your mental. It's what you've been programmed from 88 days prior to birth to your 7th year of life and your 7th year cycle. We all run in cycles, but it is a psychological development or breakdown, really. That's why you go through these breakdowns, these shadow moments and tower moments and depths of despair. It is to break you down so that you're able to remold yourself, rebuild yourself from the ground up. So it is letting go of what you've been told to be, what you've been expected to act, say, do, everything. I mean, it doesn't matter what your degree is. It doesn't matter. It's not about what who has how much amount of money. It doesn't matter who owns what title or status or how many degrees they have. It is about merging the spirituality with an desire to want to know more and be open to that there is more out there, and continue to search for these synchronistic events and for these understandings of psychological breakthroughs. Basically, is what that is, and it is very psychological. That's down to the DNA. That's how we shift. That's how we grow. It's all energy, and it's all emotional. So where there's an emotional attachment, there's a memory. Where there's a memory, there's a thought. So you got to change your thoughts to change your reality. I mean, there are quite a few. Was it Abraham or Esther Hicks? Yeah, she channels Abraham. So you got to change your thought patterns to change those emotional patterns. And once you do, and you start feeling more whole and loving, then you start bringing in more whole and loving reality and emotion. So therefore, you start creating a different outcome in your perception of life.
Absolutely. And with that, I'm going to get you to hold on, Kerri Ann, because we are going to go to our break at the top of the hour. Kerri Ann Sanders is our guest. We got her for another 30 minutes, which is pretty darn exciting. Her website is quirkycosmo.com. quirkycosmo.com. More healing, intuition, psychic ability. Little Zen and Chi without the Bigfoot in the forest. We'll be back with more Spaced Out Radio in hour number 3 right after this.
Come hang out with Spaced Out Radio, where we own the night. This is Carl. You can follow Dave on Twitter at Spaced Out Radio, and during the show, use the hashtag Spaced Out Radio to chat with us live. On Instagram, at Dave Scott SOR. On Facebook, give our page a like, Spaced Out Radio Show. SOR archives are free on YouTube at Spaced Out Radio. Come join us, or I will come join you. See you at your window.
At spacedoutradio.com, we have a little bit of everything for you to stay up late. So while you're there, check out our SOR Newswire, where our team brings you stories of the weird and strange to the WTF from around the globe. News on Bigfoot, UFOs, paranormal, Darwinian-type crime tales. It's the stories that the mainstream media usually won't touch. Well, we got them all on the SOR Newswire, only at spacedoutradio.com.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio or our website, including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Hey, this is Canadian Paranormal Investigator Mike Moore. The third Wednesday of every month, I'll be teaming up with Dave Scott to bring you Ghosts of the Great White North. Each month, we will bring on guests from across Canada to discuss their ghostly encounters. Canada is a paranormal hotbed with stories you've never heard, so we're going to bring them to you. So get comfy on your Chesterfield, grab a donut, and join us, eh?
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
The Call of the Wild is in Vancouver. The Moose Vancouver is one of the hottest bars and restaurants in the city. Open until 2 a.m. nightly, the Moose will rock you like a hurricane all night long. Great food with everything on the menu at $6.95 near the corner of Nelson and Granville. Get your horns up and come rock with us. The Moose Vancouver, the official rocking bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Get your horns up with me on Spaced Out Radio. This is Ron Bumblefoot THAL. Come tune in to SOR where you can hear me rock out with Little Brother Is Watching, the official theme song of Spaced Out Radio. And then come on over to bumblefoot.com where you can find out about my tour schedule, my music, and everything else. Bumblefoot.com keeps you up to date on what I'm doing and the best way to stay in touch with my music and music camps. Sign up for my newsletter at bumblefoot.com and remember, Little Brother Is Watching.
We are getting ready to relaunch the SOR Space Travelers Club at spacedoutradio.com. For $5 a month, you can join us for a plethora of features found nowhere else. Hang out in a private chat room during the show and after party. You can check out some exclusive content and a store specifically for you, as well as a private listener forum where you can post your thoughts, stories, and pictures. The SOR Space Travelers Club, coming soon to spacedoutradio.com.
On the first Tuesday of every month, I encourage you to come along for a journey with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You. Together, we will take a look at how to access the highest expression of yourself and change your life. Consciousness, ET contact, health, and wellness, we can talk about it all. So come along for a spiritual ride with me, Geraldine Orozco, on The Spiritual You, only on Spaced Out Radio.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Do you want to know what's really going on in your world? Do you have questions about who you can trust in the mainstream media? Then look no further than the Rebel Planet. Come get the straight answers right here at spacedoutradio.com. Join me, Jamie Sexton, creator of Rebel Planet News, as I fill you in on the stories behind the stories. All you truth seekers, be sure to tune in to Rebel Planet on spacedoutradio.com the third Thursday of every month.
The freedom to post what you want, when you want. That's the social media freedom you need. Social media freedom is the free app in your app store. No need to worry about going to jail or being shadow banned any longer. It's the freedom to say what you feel. The freedom to know Big Brother isn't watching. It's the way social media is supposed to be. Social media freedom. It's time to set yourself free. Download from your app store today.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit's story box. The iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Find your escape where time has no limits. It's about living today and cherishing the heritage of yesterday. A spirit of adventure for what is new, with the nostalgia of the past. Your timepiece is a reflection of who you are. Life surrounded by beauty from the world around us to the soul within. EscapeWatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
Visit purpleplates.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Would you like to connect with us? Head to spacedoutradio.com for all your latest show info. Now, back to Dave Scott and SOR.
Welcome back to Spaced Out Radio. Tonight, hour number 3 is underway. As I am your host, Dave Scott, thank you so much for being with us. Tomorrow night on the show, we were going to have John Tenney, except John Tenney had to catch an emergency flight out of town, cannot make it. We're going to reschedule him probably for January. John says, very, very sorry, but cannot make it. So we're bringing in the mad scientist, Chris Cogswell. We're talking Bob Lazar. We're talking Mars. We're talking UFOs. We're going to get into it big time with the former MUFON scientist. 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. at spacedoutradio.com. Hi, everyone listening in on the SOR Radio Network and Deep Talk Radio. Remember, all of our archives are free for you to listen to at youtube.com/spacedoutradio. Just do old Davey the favor. Hit that subscribe button. Bill Cardwell has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Ambisinistrous. Ambisinistrous is your password. Make sure you use it wisely, Space Travelers, as Bill sets the password each and every night right here on the mighty SOR. Our website is spacedoutradio.com, where we have a plethora of features for you. You can rock out to Bumblefoot. Soon, shop at our brand new looking Spaced Out Radio store, and Captain Shirk's SOR Newswire could use a read as well, so click on there for your latest and weird, strange news. For the final time tonight, we introduce the lovely and talented Kerri Ann Sanders. Her website is quirkycosmo.com, as we are talking celestial healing, and we're going to get into a little bit of channeling here, because it's an important part for anybody who is spiritual about how they make the connection to the other side or the other realm. Kerri Ann, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Again, thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Yeah, good. Are the toothpicks still holding your eyes open? Because I know it's late for you.
I know the definite second cup of coffee is keeping me online here. It's definitely
nice.
Kept me awake. Yeah.
Very, very nice.
Yeah.
Channeling.
Really good.
Channeling.
Okay. So as far as I was being guided just to talk about the energies that are taking place right now in the ascension path. I know there's going to be a lot of viewers that do hear this that understand and resonate with that. Right now, we are experiencing quickenings, rapid energy, rapid manifestations. And like we had just left off with before the break, we were talking about the psychological development and how we're breaking down, how we're needing to break down our past programming, our mental structures, in order to move into these higher frequencies. And with these planetary alignments, we've had over, since my awakening, or conscious awakening in 2017, there has been an abundance of planetary alignments, solar flares, and such that have just been really what they call quickening the human evolution, or the consciously raising consciousness. But right in this month of November, just a couple days ago, actually, on my birthday, we had any time of the year, it's called the luckiest day of the year, is whenever you have the sun conjuncting Jupiter, and that literally was on my birthday. And then today we have the sun, Jupiter, and Mercury conjuncting. So it's like you have the whole God's counsel, and, this whole rewriting of the next 12 years of your life. And, the messenger, Mercury represents the messenger and your mind, also Hermes and your nervous system. So you're getting all of these downloads, or intuition and insights. And right now, and then Jupiter, the guru, and the teacher, your beliefs, all of that is being rewritten on a cellular level, and, illuminated by the sun. So there's a lot of transformation that's taking place even within the highest consciousness of people on this planet. Their DNA is coming into this light body. And what that is the crystalline body, which is a water-based. It's water-based, and it's that junk DNA, what they call, science calls junk DNA. It's an energy body. And, Dr. Komodo talks about, putting your hands over water and changing the molecular structure of that water just by saying words with high vibration, like love, joy, bliss, and so forth. Going to get the synonyms out for that, right? But it's the same thing with your own body, and it is in a quickening or faster state of shifting on the molecular structure, and these planetary alignments are assisting in that. This past month, your consciousness or your awareness, your life, these experiences that, I'm pretty sure, it's the holidays anyways, but everybody that I know has had a very fast month. Like, where did November go? I felt like everywhere I turned, I was like, I was getting reminded of, I needed to do this, or I had to do this A, B, C, or D. And then, like, there's a lot of people that had just experiences that triggered them, and they're like, well, I was triggered by this dude that just cut me off, and I live out here in South Florida, so I got a lot of snowbirds, Canadians that come down here, and, they get all pissed off because whatever, they just get pissed off, and they start honking their horn at you, like, all right, you're not from New York, stop it. Anyways, so, you can easily get triggered by things like this, and I've had a lot more people that I know that are like, well, instead of getting triggered, I was just like, hey, no big deal. And there's more of that happening. And this month alone, and we had the 1111 gateway, which honestly, I blacked out for 4 hours. I don't remember. And I woke up with a bunch of bruises. And I'm not the only one. There's 4 other women that I know that, closed, and I know what it is now. It's closed down these timelines. And we went through like physical, we took on physical bruises or physical, whatever, painful afterwards, but physical bruises from, closing down these timelines. Like, just because I wasn't conscious aware of what was going on doesn't mean that my body wasn't experiencing the full circle of everything that I had to close down. And there was a lot of chaos. Like, I drove, like I said, you are experiencing, in order for your consciousness to grow, you experience life, or, life happens through you, for you, not to you, not a victim of it, right? But a lot of this it's been manifesting in the physical realm, like through experiences. And I know when I was driving across country, I was trying to go to California I had a lot of physical things that happened in November that made me really aware of these patterns, these subconscious, and I mean what subconscious is, means like you're not aware of them, right? They're deeply rooted patterns or habits or ways of thinking or acting out, like you chase people down. If you're a woman, you see what you want and you go for it. That's a pattern of chasing instead of just allowing the universe to bring it to you. So there's a lot of that happening where, we're closing down these timelines, and we've now merged with the higher, what they're called Magdalene and Christed timelines. So these are the higher consciousness frequencies that we're now residing in. So your thoughts are manifesting rapidly. So you're absolutely needing to stay on top of, I am love, or I'm grateful, be positive, I can create, I can have this opportunity is coming to me, not I can't, or I don't, or I won't. None of that needs to happen. If that means, like I said earlier in the show, taking sticky notes and putting them throughout your house, it just reminds you to be grateful and think, I can, I am, I will, I have. I can, I am, I will, I have, are like my mantra every day. It has been since my awakening. It's another thing that just came to me that I hadn't even really experienced affirmations at that point. Turning on high frequency music as well. It doesn't even necessarily have to be binaural beats. You can just listen to, classic music, instrumentals, things like that. EDM is really, really good. If it's high vibrational EDM music, there's, all kinds of alternative things that you can do to keep your vibrations high and your thoughts positive. Don't work against you, work for you, become your best friend. That's another thing I wanted to get out there. As far as channeling now from the celestial side, you're going to notice guides coming to you. You're going to there are more Pleiadian, there's a lot of Pleiadian assistance. They do have the largest craft that is above us right now, Athena. They have been working with us the most. They do look like us the most. They're also elementals and spirit guides. But the celestial guidance is coming in tenfold come this winter solstice. I mean, they've already started flooding in and making an appearance more. It's just a level of vibration, like we were talking about at the very beginning of the show, about being able to see, the elementals of fairies and being able to see, Bigfoot. It's just a level of consciousness in your own mind, and so if you're able to accept their presence and not be intimidated by it, then you're going to notice them in your waking state, not just in your dream state. You might feel them, their presence. You might hear them. You might see them. It's how you choose to perceive in this life, or right now in your present moment. Again, opening up. You don't have to have special altars or anything like that. It is just honoring yourself and honoring your connection and desire to grow. Picking up new breathing techniques. So to the human, we've been programmed to have shallow breathing, deeper breaths, longer talking, more like you're singing whenever you're talking. That really helps to open you up frequency-wise for them to work with you. Do we have any questions before I go and do this?
I actually do on Twitter from Andrew, who has a couple questions from you. Andrew's got nice hair as well. And he is asking, Kerri Ann, have you ever been approached by any law enforcement agency or government agency to assist with some kind of case? If so, what happened? Or if not, would you do something like this if called upon? What won't you do?
Oh, if I would like to be a medium?
Yeah.
I would. I would if I was. So funny. Yeah, actually, I would. I actually have healed. I heal the land a lot, and I do get a lot of children that come to me, like the deceased. And it really, that honestly was a story that scared the bejesus out of my ex we had just moved to Florida, and we went for a family walk down by the Bradenton River, and I had got this overwhelming feeling that there's a little girl there, and sure enough, there, I had gotten her name, and I might grab my children's hands, and we, told her that she was okay, and it was time for her to move on, and we did a little dance, a little shimmy, a little shake, just to bring her spirit to a higher level, and then I moved her through with intent to the higher realms. And she had drowned. She was 5 years old, and she had drowned. And my husband, or ex-husband, he actually went home and was like on his phone, and he was like, "Do you know that you were right?" And he like shows me the phone and it was a paper from that, whenever the little girl had died, and he's like, "Oh my God!" Like, I'm like, "No, I really do talk to the spirit on the other side," and so I would love to work with law enforcement if they ever reached out to me. That show, The Medium. Whenever after I came into my awakening, I'm like, man, that would be a job to have, right? But as far as like other government agencies, I would definitely, other than like local police department, like forensics, I would do forensics. But as far as working for the government, no, I'm good. I'd rather not. I was in the military. I understand, quite frankly, how that goes, and I don't want myself to be around devices and controlling mechanisms of such.
Follow-up question from Andrew. Follow-up question from Andrew, who is saying, being a former soldier and now becoming a healer are two extreme opposite poles. How did you, or do you reconcile this if you do indeed need to?
Well, there's no reconciliation with it. I mean, there's nothing to feel bad or guilty or have to come to terms with. I mean, everything that you've been through was for a reason. There's a compassion and empathy. For me, I'm able to, like the woman, earlier with the Marine, she and I instantly had a bond because she was prior in the military, and so was I. And it's just that level, that frequency that we both carry, that camaraderie. And it's an honor, to have these, it's like you're saying that you went to Delta Pi or whatever, Alpha Omega, whatever fraternity or sorority that you're in, you don't have regrets for being in that. So why would you have any remorse or towards being in the military? I mean, now I did, I'm not fond of the fact that all the injections and that I received. But again, like I said, whenever I was abducted or taken up and healed in Abu Dhabi, that was in 2007, and again in Australia, 2007, I got to get up twice within a 6-month period. So, I was being healed because of the injections, because of, what you go through after being on, some, army, somebody being in the army, they're going to have a lot more shots and stuff injected into them, or told to swallow this pill or that pill, and they have to, because of this disease or that disease, when it's just a controlling mechanism. That's all that drugs are, in my opinion. That's all that medications are. Anyway, it's a form of control. And when I was in, I actually had to swallow radiation. So, I've detoxed my body quite a bit. I'm not a vegan, but I do get guided to days when I'm just juicing, days that I'm just eating like peanuts or some kind of nut, or days that I'm just fasting and having only water. And there's days that I'm mainly eating, raw fish or chicken, not really red meat, but still, you just got to listen to your body. And if you're going to the grocery store and you turn, you're like, I want to get peanut butter, get the dang peanut butter. You're probably needing the amino acids that are in that to restructure your DNA, to help rebuild the proteins within the DNA. But yeah, coming to terms with it, there's no terms really. Everything's for a reason and an experience. Your soul needed it. Me personally, I like I said, I heal the oceans. And so therefore I was on a ship and I was out there, even not even being consciously aware of it, but my energy itself that I carry as a soul, my aura, was out there healing the waters. And this is during a time of the Iraqi and freedom and Afghanistan, all that. So, there was a lot of oil wars going on out there, and I'm just saying, it's all for a purpose. It's all for a purpose. Just look at everything that you've been through and appreciate it.
We only got about just under 3.5 minutes left with you tonight. And it's been a fantastic, fun ride with you with that. And when it comes to helping people, before you can help them, I'm assuming that they have to be ready to help themselves as well, because you can give all the advice, all of the sessions, all of everything that you need to do. But if the person themselves is not ready to accept it, it's all the lost cause, is it not?
This is very true. This is very true. The soul, the self has to be willing to expand. And, that's what you're really here for. The earth is a school for your soul to have experiences in the 3D, to know what the feelings are, to know how to emotionally feel and how to respond and how to experience life at its fullest. This what this planet was created for, was to experience. So with that, I would like to do a little bit of light language, a little message,
sure.
A little end of the finale. So if everybody wants to just take a deep breath in, and be open and setting this the highest intentions of pure source energy, love, bliss. And so it is. Arnak nuaste he nar nakwasta. Ishkne art mokne arnatese. Hukur namata arnatese. Iknar nuhar natesekar. Inahe anakwa. Sikitishna tese. Uhukamar natayane. Astatuashkne awa. Tuanahe akase. Tuanahe nakuashknea. Ese hur naya.
And what language was that?
My native tongue.
Beautiful.
It is thank you. I carry very indigenous Egyptian, ancient. It's an ancient tongue. It's a mixture of celestial and just ancient light language. I am mainly Lyran. And there was a lot of Vega incarnation Sirius, and so I carry, strong indigenous undertones because those are the originals to this planet.
Do me a favor, as we only got about 1 minute left with you. Take the time to tell our audience where they can learn more about you, your practices, your healing, and how they can get in touch.
Awesome, yes. And thank you, everybody that has joined us tonight and join us in the future. I thank you for your presence and your energy. And if you'd like to know more about me, you can go to my website at www.quirkycosmo.com. And you can also go and visit me at Facebook, Quirky Cosmo, and Instagram, Quirky Cosmo, or on my YouTube channel, The Quirky Cosmo. And I would love for your feedback, for your connections, and to help you grow on your journey so that you can have the fullest experience that this life and this incarnation has to offer.
Wonderful. And it was a pleasure meeting you and having you on Spaced Out Radio for the first time, and hopefully not the last. Appreciate that. You take care.
Yes, thank you.
And we will talk to you very soon. Kerri Ann Sanders, her website, once again, quirkycosmo.com. Coming up after the break, the man, the myth, the legend, Olaf Phillips will be back with the SOR Newswire. We'll be back after this.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio Live with Dave Scott on the Deep Talk Radio Network.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7 with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
Are you tired of being blocked, shadow banned, or placed in jail for simply posting your thoughts on social media? Social Media Freedom can take care of that for you. Social Media Freedom is the newest and one of the best free new apps that allows you the freedom to post what you want, when you want. It takes seconds to download from your app store. Come join the tribe at Social Media Freedom. It's time to set
.com today. For over 40 years, the Purple Energy Plates have been delivering amazing results for their many customers. Inspired by the great genius Nikola Tesla, the harmony, healing, and energetic effects of the plates have proven over and over to be beneficial and often miraculous to thousands of customers. Check their site for daily specials and choose from their many energy products. You won't be sorry. Visit them today at purpleplates.com.
Looking for a place to advertise at a very reasonable cost? Look no further than Spaced Out Radio. SpacedOutRadio.com has an advertising tab that you can click to check out our daily, weekly, and monthly packages to play on the radio, or our website including social media. From commercial spots to banners, we have it all. Check out our competitive pricing today.
Hi there, this is Geraldine Orozco from San Francisco's Bay Area Meditation. I invite you to join me the first Tuesday of every month with Dave Scott for Spaced Out Radio's The Spiritual You. In this fast-paced world we live in, it's time for you to take some time for you. We'll cover every possible subject from powerful meditation to healing techniques to your own intuition and spirituality. So come join us for The Spiritual You.
We're bringing scientific thought to the paranormal. Hi there, this is Spaced Out Radio scientist Chris Cogswell. Join me, Chris Zuger, and Dave Scott the second Wednesday of every month, where we break down the who from the woo when it comes to everything paranormal. We'll investigate and try to bring sensible answers to those straight and sometimes outlandish questions people have. Hey, not everything has an answer, but we'll do our best. Listen in to Reality Paranormal only on Spaced Out Radio.
Coming soon to our website, spacedoutradio.com, is the SOR Space Travelers Club. For just $5 a month, you can get into a private area on our site where you can hang with other listeners in our chat room, post in our forum, and check out a bunch of exclusive content and store that won't be found anywhere else, including a nightly after-show party with Dave. It's going to be the best $5 a month you're going to spend. The SOR Space Travelers, only at spacedoutradio.com.
Are you intrigued by Paranormal Talk Radio? You'll love the new Paranormal Radio app from TalkStream Live. You'll find a great selection of talk shows covering UFOs, ghosts, strange phenomena, and much more. Download the Paranormal Radio app now and start listening to the very best in paranormal talk entertainment, including the network you're listening to right now, the Paranormal Radio app, free in Google Play and the iOS App Store.
A timepiece is a reflection of who you are, and what better way to show off the real you than with an Escape watch? Escape is a lifestyle brand accessorizing your days and nights. Choose to escape and create the life of discovery that you deserve. Dream, play, unite with your own personalized Escape watch. Head to escapewatches.com. There is no time like the present to enjoy your escape. Use promo code SMF2017 for your 20% discount today.
You know, it's hard being the bad man of ufology, but that's just the way that I like it. This is Chris George Zuger, and I'll be hanging out with Dave Scott and SOR scientist Chris Cogswell for Reality Paranormal, the second Wednesday of every month. And our job is to break it down and come to conclusions as to what is really going on in the supernatural world. I'd love for you to join us right here on Spaced Out Radio.
Heading to Vancouver and looking for a night on the town? The Moose Vancouver is the bar that never stops rocking until 2 a.m. every night. The Moose has great food with everything on the menu from $6.95 to $8.95. Fantastic, vibrant staff and rock and roll that will bring you back to when the music was real, the hair was long, and the guitars were rocking. Get your party on at the Moose Vancouver, the official party bar of Spaced Out Radio.
Did you know Spaced Out Radio runs 7 days a week? Hi there, this is Tessa Nicole Thomas, and I'm here to take you on a paranormal journey each Saturday and Sunday night. Why change the station when you have it all right here? Together, we'll hang out and share some strange and scary stories. And don't forget, we have Psychic Sundays as well, so come tune in Spaced Out Weekend. We get going at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern, only at spacedoutradio.com, where we own the night.
Hello, this is your guitar man, Ron Bumblefoot Thaw, and I have to tell you, I love the response I get for Little Brother is Watching from Spaced Out Radio fans. It's amazing how music can inspire and make people think deeper about what's going on in the supernatural world. You can head over to my website, bumblefoot.com, to check out my music, my guitar workshops, my touring, even check out some of the hot sauces that I'm working on. And make sure you keep on listening, because with Spaced Out Radio, you know Little Brother is watching.
You hear footsteps in the empty room above you. A rocking chair begins rocking by itself. Don't be afraid of the things that go bump in the night. Reach for Spirit Storybox, the iPhone app the Huffington Post UK called the only ghost hunting app you will ever need. Spirit Storybox. The spirits are telling their stories. Are you listening?
Welcome back to the final half hour of Spaced Out Radio. As we've rounded third, we are headed for home tonight. And it's time to get into the SOR Newswire, which can be found at spacedoutradio.com. Click on the News tab. But live, we do it right here. The last half hour of the show with Olaf Phillips with Paranoia Magazine. The news is always changing, so here at Spaced Out Radio, we bring you the SOR Newswire, provided by Paranoia Magazine's Olaf Phillips. You can find him at paranoiamagazine.com. Mr. Man, Myth, and Legend of the Black Ops, Olaf Phillips. How's Team Stump doing today?
Doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Anytime we get to throw in a Team Stump, we're always going to like it. Always going to like it. You know, it's been a busy day, my friend. Busy day. Done a lot of running around today trying to get life organized. And you know, I was reading a lot on social media, and trust me, I just, you know, sometimes the dumb really affects me negatively. And when when NASA yesterday released that first photo right after they landed, where they had the plastic lens covers to protect from debris, and people were saying, that's it, we're all cheering over this photo that has dust and garbage all over it, can't NASA do anything right? I'm like, morons. You know that's a lens cover, right? And even after you tell them there's a lens cover, they still argue it. And other people come in and try to argue it. Sometimes the stupid on social media really, really gives me a migraine, my friend. Some people shouldn't be allowed.
I mean, you hurl this thing into the space on a rocket, and it goes how far? And goes through reentry and survives. You know, that's an achievement. And it lands, and it can take a photo. I think that's something to cheer about. Whether the photo's messed up or not, it survived enough to take a photo.
I agree. Right? I fully agree with you.
The parachute didn't fail. You know, it got there. You should celebrate that. It survived the 7 minutes of terror.
I fully agree with you, man. Fully agree with you. So what's happening in the weird, the strange, and the WTF of the news today, man?
Well, this just in, Ohio driver captured video of dangerous couch moving method. A shock driver on an Ohio road captured a video of a couch being moved on top of an SUV with a person perched atop the vehicle holding it still. The video shows an SUV with a couch balanced on the roof and a person crouched on the top of the vehicle holding onto both the couch and the vehicle's roof rack. The filmer can be heard expressing shock at the scene, which unfolded on Gettysburg Avenue in Dayton, Ohio. This is not real, the filmer says, but it is. I feel like I'm being punked.
You know, I got to tell you, man, I expect a story like that out of Arkansas, Kentucky, or Florida. Not good old Ohio where, you know, all the aliens, the frogmen, and the Bigfoot and dogmen are walking. They got enough weird in Ohio besides some dude riding on the top of a car, laying on a couch, holding a roof rack.
No, they certainly do. I mean, there's plenty of weird there. I don't know. I actually have a book, and it's various ways that you can fix things with duct tape. Yeah. And I mean, just the bizarre things that people have done with duct tape, like duct taping a lawn chair onto the top of a car and like driving around with it. I mean, people, you know, if you need to do something, somebody will find the most bizarre way to do it possible. I guarantee it. You couldn't just buy some rope. You know, $2.99 down at the drugstore was just too much to tie the damn couch down. No, you have to put a human being on the roof of your car, holding onto a roof rack, trying to hold the couch in place. It's absurd.
Seems logical, right?
Yeah, totally logical.
I don't get it. I mean, oh my goodness. It makes your head hurt. It makes your head hurt.
Dave, it makes your whole body hurt. Trying to figure out how they came up with that one, that makes your whole body hurt. I'm sorry. It's a whole body hurt thing.
I saw this video on the weekend of these hikers, okay, and they were walking. This was on social media. They're hiking up this trail, and they come across a cougar on the trail, or mountain lion, whatever you want to call it, same species. Okay. And so instead of turning back, they keep going forward. And they inch around this corner, and they're like, well, where's the mountain lion? Where is it? Well, on their left is an embankment, and anybody who knows big cats knows you never are on an embankment with a cougar around, because the cougars love to pounce from a higher elevation. It's part of their strategy.
Yeah.
And so they were able to get out of there. The cougar did not stalk them back. But, I mean, the level of dumb sometimes for your situation. I mean, it's amazing that there are not more Darwin Awards handed out for people like this.
Well, I mean, there's the famous case of that couple. I think it was in Yosemite. There are all these signs. Don't climb over the barrier. So what do? They climb over the barrier. They're standing next to a cliff to take a selfie because it's just going to be so beautiful, and they fell off.
Yeah. Exactly.
And everybody reports, well, they like to live life on the edge. You know, falling off a cliff, taking a selfie, I don't care how adventurous you are, that's just plain stupid.
Agreed. Fully
That's not living life on
agreed.
the edge. That's living life on the stupid.
Yeah. It's like that lady, I believe it was at an animal rescue in China a couple years ago. There's a video of it where she decides to get out of her vehicle to take a picture of a wild tiger. And then she goes, as the driver was calling her back into the vehicle, she goes to the driver's door, opens up the driver's door. Tiger sneaks up behind her, grabs her. She ended up dying over that. But is it really worth it? Is it really worth it?
No.
I don't get it.
No, it's not. It's not. But you know what is worth it, Dave? You know what is worth it?
What is worth it?
The world's largest scrambled eggs, nearly 5,500 pounds of scrambled eggs. That's what's worth it. A team of more than 20 chefs came together in Mauritius to cook up 5,436 pound, 9.58 ounce serving of scrambled eggs certified as the world's largest. The Guinness World Record says the massive helping of scrambled eggs cooked up by Inisia Wati, the East African island nation's largest egg production and distribution company, was the largest scrambled eggs ever cooked. The record-breaking dish, which was created to celebrate Inisia Wati's 40th anniversary, included 35,000 eggs, nearly 950 pounds of butter, 65 gallons of milk, 22 pounds of salt, and nearly 5 pounds of pepper. 20 chefs. 8,000 portions of scrambled eggs. That's what's worth it, Dave, right there.
I wonder how many eggshells made it in there accidentally. And how do you do that? Like, how do you scramble? Did they put it all, like, get one of them giant pans like they do for pancakes, the world's largest pancakes? And then did they get somebody in the middle who has, shoes on that can withstand the heat so that way you could go scramble it up?
No, I think they do it from the sides. I think what they do is they make it more narrow and long, and then they have 10 people on either side mixing it with huge paddles.
Right. That makes sense. Makes sense. Yeah. I wish, a week or two ago you had that nacho one, the biggest nachos or tacos. Yeah, that more interests me than the scrambled eggs.
I don't know. I don't like scrambled eggs, but 5,500 pounds of it, that's impressive.
It totally is. Totally is.
That's a lot of chicken. A lot of chickens, man. You ready for more?
I'm ready, buddy. Feed me.
Sleeping pilot overflies Australian island destination. A commercial pilot is under investigation after falling asleep in the cockpit of a freight plane and overflying his Australian island destination by 46 kilometers, officials said Tuesday. The pilot, who has not been identified, was the only person aboard the twin-propeller Piper Navajo Chieftain and was flying on autopilot during the early morning flight of November 8th from Devonport City on Tasmania, 250 kilometers. I did that for you. That's 155 miles for the rest of us. Northwest to King Island in Bass Strait, his employer Vortex Air said in a statement. The pilot unintentionally fell asleep while in command of the aircraft, the Melbourne-based airline said. The issue became apparent when air traffic control was unable to contact the pilot in flight, and the aircraft traveled past the intended destination point while operating on autopilot.
Wow.
Fell asleep, overshot his target.
My goodness. What kind of plane was he flying?
Piper Chieftain.
Yeah, that's dangerous. That's dangerous. But he was able. How did they wake him up to get him to get the plane down?
He just woke up.
Oh my!
He was done nap time. Time to land.
My goodness. That's not very cool. Not very cool.
Years ago, I had a job, and our equipment was on a small island in the English Channel, and we used to have to fly out there to do maintenance. And so there were two routes. I lived in England at the time. There are two routes that you can take to get there. One is that you would fly to another island, and then from that island to the place where our stuff was. The other was to fly direct. So one day, I thought to myself, well, you know what? I'm going to fly direct because it means that I don't have to go to London to catch a flight to this island called Guernsey. I can just go straight there. It's like 15 minutes longer, but it's direct, and it just makes my life simpler, right? So I get in the plane, and they fly these things called Brit-Norman Tri-Islander. It's like a 3-engine prop plane. So we take off from Southampton, and we're going over the English Channel, and it's bumpy because the English Channel, the air is very violent, and so it's kind of bumpy, and you're in a little airplane. It's popping around a little bit. And I'm watching the pilot because it's like I'm 2 rows behind, but it's not rows. They're just like bench seats, and I can clearly see this guy, and he's using a handheld GPS, Garmin handheld GPSs. He's using a handheld GPS, like, on a mount connected to the windshield. And he's just flying along, and then, like, he puts it on autopilot. He's kind of, like, looking around, and he's bored. And then he, like, digs around in his bag, and he's, like, eating a ham sandwich while he's flying the plane. And he's kind of bored. And then, it's a little choppy, and then he's like, and he's bored. And he's looking out the window, looking down at the water. And I'm horrified. I'm like, man, this guy is so bored. He's going to crash my plane. The next time I flew, to limit the amount of time I sat in that little tiny airplane, I flew to Guernsey on a big plane. Then I got on the little plane for 10 minutes. And I was like, 10 minutes? I can do this. But like 45 minutes of that, I'm like, no way, never doing it again.
Let's get to the thought of the Dave.
Do it.
Thought of the Dave happens every night at this time, where we ask a question on our Facebook and Twitter pages, and then we read your responses on the air because we love the audience participation around here. So today's Thought of the Dave is as followed. What's the best story about a miraculous healing you have heard? Let's get to it, shall we?
Let's do it.
Robert, my wife and I prayed for a person to be healed of rheumatoid arthritis, and it actually happened. It happened this past Saturday. A fellow, one of her legs was healed at the church we go to. I was there to see it happen. Very cool. Trixie, it happened to me. I had a staph infection in my finger. Unbeknownst to me, this spread to my ear, and I lost my hearing. It was gone. At the time, I was going to a non-denominational church, and someone noticed I was having issues. They asked, is it okay if we do a prayer circle for you? I said, sure. And in a small group of 3 people, one person put their hand on my head and the other 2 were touching my shoulders. They said the prayer, and off I went. After getting into the car, I could feel my ears clearing up. I could hear again. It was miraculous how effective and fast this worked. Later that day, I went to urgent care, emergency private doctors, and that's when they told me I had the infection and gave me antibiotics for the finger. I asked them about losing my hearing, and they said the infection had spread to my ears, but they were now recovering. So I went home, took the meds for my finger. Still, though, it was amazing to feel that healing energy react so quick. Kelly, when a workmate calls in sick on a Friday and you see him posting on Facebook later that evening when he's sitting at the hockey game, that's always a miracle. Always a miracle.
It's a miracle, Dave.
It is. Hockey has healing powers. Not like that soccer stuff. Not like that soccer stuff. Oh, soccer.
You and soccer. Soccer has healing powers, too.
No.
And you don't lose your teeth.
All it teaches is fakery and hooliganism in the stands. That's it. Okay, no. Let's go to Robin. I was an addict. I was in rehabilitation. I'd been clean a few times, court-ordered. Nothing seemed to work. I could not overcome the urge to take my mind out of its own existence. I fought it for a long time. One day, being homeless and nowhere to go, I was walking down the street, and a man picked me up and asked me if I needed a ride. I was carrying 2 large black plastic bags with my belongings in them. I told him yes, I needed a ride, but I didn't know where I was going to go because I had no home. This man took me to a Salvation Army in Dallas, Texas, because I lived there at the time. It had a church. They accepted me. They gave me meals in a room and told me that I could stay there 3 to 4 months. People swarmed to that church every Sunday, so many people crowded in. I always believed in God, and I've always believed in Jesus, and I always believed in miracles. And when I was there, I prayed that one would come over me, that I could finally overcome my addictions. One night, while going to sleep after saying my prayers, I was almost in that deep sleep, and I saw a picture of a hand falling down and a spike being put into that hand and a hammer coming down and slamming into that spike. No, it was not the vision of the spike in the hand. That's not what cured me. It was the sound of the hammer hitting the spike. That sound was so loud that I swear I could feel the building shake, and the sound echo through my head. You can call it what you want. I call it divine intervention. I now hate the thought of drugs because of what they do to people, and I hate the fact that people have been so abused and so hurt in life. I am the miracle because I did not care about my life. I said everyone would be better off without me. I had no self-worth, and when you have no self-worth, you do not see anybody else worth anything either. Sad, sad tragedy. Today, I love my family loves me, I worship, and I am doing very, very well because I was saved. Fantastic story. I wanted to get all of that in. That's
amazing.
That was pretty cool. We're going to leave it at that one because that one's way too powerful. Olaf, where can people find Paranoia Magazine?
ParanoiaMagazine.com. Make sure you check out our podcast.
Absolutely. ParanoiaMagazine.com as well, and the SOR Newswire can be found on our website, spacedoutradio.com, so make sure you check it on out, or our Facebook page, the SOR Newswire. We want to say thank you to Kerri Ann Sanders for coming on the show tonight, talking all things spiritual, Zen, and healing, and celestial. Tomorrow night on the program, John Tenney was set to join us, but he had to leave town on an emergency. We're going to reschedule him, so we got Chris Cogswell talking Mars, science, UFOs, Bob Lazar, 9:06 Pacific, 12:06 a.m. Eastern at spacedoutradio.com. We got Mr. Ron Bumblefoot THAL rocking in the background with Little Brother Is Watching. Bumblefoot is the official music of Spaced Out Radio, rocking us in and out of every single show. Get your horns up for the guitar god himself. Special thanks to everybody listening in at work, in your cars, at home, wherever you may be. Everybody in the chat rooms and on Twitter at hashtag Spaced Out Radio. Thanks for tuning in, making us bigger and better every single night. Because together, my friends, we own the night. I will talk to you in 21 hours from now. Mr. Bumblefoot, we need a favor. We need you to take us home. Good night.